continuation of Biden's cognitive decline because now mainstream media is trying to run cover. Now they're trying to all of a sudden cover the story and ask Democrat leaders and just Democrats in general, did you not know about Biden's decline? As if mainstream media had no clue either. You know, and I've said this time and time again, it does not take a genius or a medical expert, right? Because that's what Jake Tapper went after Laura Trump for, because she, got on Biden News. Well, you're no medical expert, basically. And so now they're trying to run cover and ask the question. But even in asking the question, I'm like, this still ain't really journalism, bro. It's not. And you all knew the truth. You could see it. They all have two eyes and two ears, just like we do, and a brain. Hopefully that's functional. I mean, some might argue maybe not. I don't know. So this whole excuse I didn't know is absolutely bogus. But I want to play a couple of clips. This first one is Chuck Schumer being asked about Biden's decline. And take a listen to what he says. Let's dive in.
I really do want to ask you about something that has been breaking out of CNN. Our Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson have written a book called Original Sin, and they call it a cover-up of Biden's health and his cognition and his fitness, quite frankly, to be president of the United States. You sat next to Biden in the Oval Office February 27th. 2024, just a handful of months before the president took that debate stage. And it was later reported that you and other Democratic leaders were talking before the debate about having a plan. You and Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama. I understand you later denied that ever happened. But I am curious, I'm interested to know whether the man that you saw sitting there on that couch on that day, you were in there, you saw him up close and personal. Did you really not have any idea that he was not fit to serve a second term?
Casey, we're looking forward. We have the largest Medicaid cut in front of us. We have the whole federal government at risk.
You're facing all of this because you lost a presidential election. And is that not Joe Biden's responsibility for deciding to run again?
We're looking forward.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Senator Chuck Schumer, I know you got to go. I appreciate your time today. We'll see you soon, I hope. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. And our panel joins us now. CNN political commentator Jonah Goldberg, the host of the Chuck Toddcast, Chuck Todd, Democratic strategist Paul Begala, Republican pollster Kristen Soltis Anderson, both CNN political commentators. Chuck Todd, go.
He is among the people that are responsible for this. The leaders of the Democratic Party, the staff of the White House. And I have to say, I find everybody now talking to these authors, get out of here. Go home. You're part of the problem. Now you tell us? So I find, the reason why the Democratic Party has less credibility today. Here's an unpopular president, and the Democratic Party has a worse rating than the Republican Party with this catastrophic governance that we've seen over the last 120 days. And yet, why is the Democratic Party in worse shape? Because of this distrust. Because of this, frankly, what the public feels as if the party leadership let them down and let this happen. He's as responsible as anybody else. He was a leader in the party. He could have said something sooner, and he didn't.
Mainstream media pointing the finger at Democrats as if, I believe his name's Chuck Todd, doesn't have two eyes and two ears of his own and a brain to look at Joe Biden and see him tripping over sandbags and couldn't read a teleprompter and being guided off the stage and, everything else that we all saw, as if he didn't see that either. Really? And I don't want to hear the excuse, well, we didn't have any medical experts. We didn't have any confirmation. Because if y'all remember, there was a time in Trump's first term where he walked down a metal ramp that was wet, and he walked down it slowly. And everybody in leftist media lost their minds. Oh my goodness, Trump's health is on a decline. What is going on with Donald Trump? He needs to resign. His health is declining, blah, blah. Like they all ran with that. The moment that he just slowly walked down a metal ramp that was wet. So I don't want to hear this nonsense of, well, we didn't have any confirmation, because that's what they're going to come out with next, right? When you really confront them, because this isn't journalism. Like, bro, she didn't even really dig. She didn't even really dig. Chuck Schumer said, yep, that's it. What do you mean that's it? No, that's not it. Answer the question. We're moving forward. That's not answering the question. Answer the question. Why did you lie? We're looking forward. That's not answering the question. You know, the same way Caitlin Collins did with Uncle Trump on that stage when she asked him about the Ukraine and Russia war, and she asked him, I believe it was something along the lines of, do you want Ukraine to win the Russia war? And he said, I want people to stop dying. And then she turned it around and asked him again, just she worded it a little bit differently. And he said the same thing. I want people to stop dying. And then she asked him a third time, like, why didn't Chuck Schumer get that same treatment? You see what I mean? Like, bias. I'm just saying. But here's Hakeem Jeffries getting asked the same question. Notice his answer, too.
From the book, President Biden didn't even recognize George Clooney at a fundraiser the movie star was actually hosting for him. Why should voters trust Democrats when it's clear so many in your party went to great lengths to keep Biden's condition hidden from the public?
I can't tell you what happened between George Clooney and President Biden. I wasn't at that event. What I can say is that we're not looking backward. We're going to continue to look forward, because at this moment, we've got real problems that
Notice how, once again, they're all saying the same thing again. We're not looking back. We're looking forward. Ain't that what Chuck Schumer just said? You know, kind of weird, ain't it?
need to be addressed on behalf of the American people, including the Republican effort to snatch away health care, snatch away food assistance, and hurt veterans.
You interacted with President Biden during those days, those final days he was president of the United States. Did you sense there was a major deterioration?
Well, in the conversations that I was able to have on behalf of the House Democratic Caucus in those final days, we simply expressed our perspective as to what would be best for the party at that given moment in time. President Biden subsequently made the decision that he was going to pass the baton to Vice President Kamala Harris. Of course, that was a decision that we supported strongly.
Just very quickly, I want to ask you, Congressman Jeffries, you say we're not looking back, we're looking forward, but what happened in the past has to do with what's going to happen in the future and whether voters can trust Democrats. As you look back, you were in a leadership position when President Biden decided to run again. Should you have done more at that point to intervene?
It's a great question in terms of whether voters can trust Democrats or not. Every single high-profile special election that has taken place since President Trump was inaugurated, a special election victory in Iowa in January, a special election victory in New York in February, a special election victory in Pennsylvania in March, a special election victory in Wisconsin in the Supreme Court race in April, and yesterday, decisively defeating a Republican incumbent in Omaha in a surprise to many observers. Clearly, voters are trusting Democrats. This year, when they go to the ballot, repeatedly rejecting MAGA extremism.
Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House.
This year, repeatedly rejecting MAGA extremism. But what he failed to mention is that, things are a bit ugly right now, but they had to be ugly to make them better. So come midterms, we'll see if people are still making that same decision. Mr. Hakeem Jeffries, about the MAGA extremism. Like, come on, bro. Notice how he didn't even answer the questions, and they didn't even push back against him. Come on, man. Come on, man. They're not fooling anybody. Well, we asked them the question, but you didn't push back the same way that you would have if that was Uncle Trump or if that was J.D. Vance. You didn't push back when he just basically ignored the question and said a bunch of hoopla about a bunch of nothing that don't mean anything. You didn't push back at all. Not even a little bit. Also want to play this clip of Scott Jennings absolutely schooling the CNN panel. Check it out.
The fact that he was only concerned about the optics and not about the fact that the president of the United States might be in cognitive decline, might be mentally impaired, to me speaks volumes about the lack of character of Chuck Schumer. But the idea that we did not know about this for the years leading up to the presidential campaign, we all saw it with our own eyes. Video after video, speech after speech, statement after statement. The Hur report. The fact that we have people saying today, I didn't know. We had no idea, is outrageous. That's number one. Number two, the cover-up is outrageous. And number three, people were arguing with a straight face that this man could serve 4 more years until, of course, it became untenable at the debate. Honestly, Jake and Alex have done a great service here. This book needs to be written. These stories need to be told because we've lived through the greatest scandal in modern American political history, the cover-up of the decline of the president, the argument that he could serve 4 more years. If he were in office today, if he had somehow won and were in office today, you'd have the same people on TV today saying, he's fine. So, behind closed doors, he's fine, and you know it.
Hey, Scott Jennings is right. Except for the whole Jake Tapper situation, and I get it. They both work for CNN, so he can't really go after Jake. But, nah. Jake did a terrible job, right? Trying to capitalize off of the lie you have been telling. Come on now. Really? Nah. But the rest of it, Scott Jennings was on point. 1,000% on point. If Joe Biden didn't decide to drop out, and by some, I don't know, miracle, I guess. I don't even know if you call it that. But somehow, some way, he actually managed to win and he were president right now, the same people in mainstream media would all be saying that he's completely fine, even though he's being guided around like a brand new puppy, right? Even though he'd probably be wandering off like a lost puppy, probably still tripping over sandbags, tripping up the stairs, walking up the short stairs, right? Even though all of these things will be happening in front of our face, they would still be trying to tell us that he was perfectly fine. And that is absolutely bogus. And it's why their ratings are absolutely terrible. And it's why the Democrat Party is at an all-time low and will continue to stay at an all-time low. Because as you saw there, they still refuse to admit that they lied. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries both said the same thing. Well, we're not looking back. We're looking forward. So you're not going to admit that you lied. We're looking back. We're looking forward. They both said the exact same thing. So it's clear that they've all met behind closed doors, said, hey, we're going to get asked about lying, which we did do. So how are we going to navigate being questioned to our face? Well, we're just going to say we're moving forward. We're not looking backwards. And then we're going to point the finger back at Trump. Like, come on now, bro. Like, they have used that tactic so many times that it's obvious what they're going to do every single time they get cornered. Not answer the question, repeat the same lines, and then point the finger back at Trump. That's what they do every single time. Every single time. And honestly, I'm happy that they do it because it's continuing to tank the Democrat Party, and I'm loving it. Okay? I'm feeling I'm feeling like McDonald's, right? Ain't that the McDonald's slogan? I'm loving it. Yeah, I believe so. I'm loving it. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep tanking your approval rating, Democrats. Please. Make it easy for us, you know? Just want to coast. I just want to coast the next 4 years. As always, thanks for tuning in. Peace and love. I'm out.